also time at the top of the table over in League 2, as is anybody's guess as to who's going to get promoted with the bloody vegans. Can anyone take advantage this week? We'll take a little look next. Today we look forward to match day number 41. That's right, over in League 2, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe and get you back up today. All things League 2 related, Papa Rose related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one Rooski, of course, Sutton were representing, of course, League 2 out in the Football League Trophy. Of course, unfortunately, they did finish as runners-up, but of course, well done to them. But of course, can anyone actually catch the vegans at the moment? Of course, 75 points for them at the top of the table, with, of course, Exeter City breathing down the necks. It is so tight, so tight, and anybody's realistic chance still wide open, of course, to get themselves promoted alongside. We'll take a look at all of it in a minute. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs there, the patrons, guys. But anyway, let's take a little look at what I'm talking about. The state of play over in League 2. So here are the last round of games, of course, which were midweek last week, and of course the fixtures from the weekend. So Oldham, they did actually pick up a monstrous win against Leyton. Orient, 2-0 win for them. Hartlepool with a draw against Mansfield Town, 2-2 in the end. Rochdale, of course, got a big win over Carlisle. Of course, dented Simpson's results over, of course, Carlisle recently. Salford, though, good week for them. 2-1 win for Crawley. Barrow, of course, Phil Brown there now. 2-1 winners for Port Vale. Bristol Rovers, of course, left it late with a 2-1 win over Bradford City. Stevenage, of course, took the L against Oldham as well. Big week for that for Oldham. Meanwhile, of course, what we got here, Walsall did lose to Leyton, 2-2 win for them. The vegans picked up a cheeky win over Scunthorpe United as well. Harrogate Town with a 2-1 loss against Colchester United. Hartlepool, again, lost to, of course, Salford City. Mansfield Town with back to winning ways with a 1-0 win over Northampton Town. Newport as well lost to Exeter City at home, with Rochdale taking a point against Swindon Town. Sutton United against Crawley, we'll have to wait about that. And Tranmere did get a draw against Carlisle United. Wow. That's, of course, the state of play for those games. Let's take a look at the table. This is what it's all about at the moment. Of course, it's 4 points clearance between Forest Green Rovers and, of course, Exeter City. It's still catchable, very catchable, but of course they do have a game in hand over the likes of Exeter City. 2 games in hand over the likes of Northampton Town. But Exeter, Port Vale are in third at the moment, 66 points, level on points with Northampton, level on points with Bristol Rovers, and level on points with Mansfield Town. Of course, Tranmere have got 7. They're in 7th place with, of course, 64 points. And you're looking at maybe Swindon, Salford, Sutton as well. That's probably it. 11th and upwards are realistically in it. And of course, down the foot of the table, it's Scunthorpe going down right now with Stevenage alongside them. But of course, Barrow could get sucked into that. Oldham could get sucked into that still. So I think Rochdale pretty much safe for the time being. They're 10 points clear for the time being. Anyway, let's take a look at, of course, your pickaroos. Well done to Owen A. and Shane O'Donnell picking up 8 points there. Well done to you guys for this past week. What about the overall mini leaderboard? Then shall we? Here's Deep at the Great with 100. He's broken the back of it into triple digits there. So well done, Deepak the Great. 100, of course, for them. Jimmy Watson's in second, and Gareth Nicholson is in third. Brother, that's right. Of course, it can all change though in the next round of matches. So get in amongst it. Cut the Fortress League 2, as these are the games. They are, of course, spread from tomorrow, Tuesday, all the way through to the weekend. So let's take a look at it. Kick it all off with the leaders. Mansfield, Forest Green Rovers up against Mansfield Town, of course. Zinger, chicken dinner, of course. Now these two sides have played each other 20 times since 2008. 5 wins for Forest Green, 10 wins for Mansfield, and 5 draws, of course. Just one defeated past 6, though, for Forest Green. At the moment, 58% form. Up against the Mansfield Town side, of course, unbeaten in the last 4 for them. 58% form for them as well. Of course, last time played each other in Forest Green, it was a 2-win for Mansfield back in November 2020. The reverse fixture in Mansfield was a 0-0 draw back in March. That was, of course, in fact, that wasn't the reverse fixture. They've got to play each other twice this campaign. Meanwhile, of course, Forest Green picking up a 1-0 win over Scunthorpe, but it's actually been back-to-back clean sheets for them. Meanwhile, Mansfield picking up a 1-0 win over Northampton Town, also in that promotion mix as well. The odds though for this one, 20-19 on is your Forest Green, 5-2 is your draw, and then 3-1 is your long shots. That is, of course, Mansfield Town. Forest Green Rovers should take the win on this one at home, and of course extend the lead at the top, and of course dent Mansfield Town's hopes as well. Next, of course, we have Salford City up against Port Vale. Another zinger chicken dinner, of course, has playoff ramifications as well as automatics. Of course, now these two sides have played each other 6 times. 2019, 3 wins for Salford, 1 for Port Vale, and 2 draws, of course. Boys unbeaten in the last 6, of course. Picking up 4 wins in the bounce, 83% form. Up against Port Vale side, of course, Just one, what they're looking at, unbeaten at least the last 6, 92% form as well. Just one blip on the resume, which was a draw. So they've won 5 of the last 6 games, 2 informed sides, of course, and a bit of a derby as well. Last time around at Salford, there was a 1-win for Salford back in March 2021. The reverse fixture in Port Vale was a 1-win for Salford as well back in, of course, January 2022. The odds though for this one, in fact, Salford coming to this on the back of that 2-0 win over Hartlepool, and of course, Port Vale with the 2-1 win over Barrow. The odds though for this one, 8-5 is your Salford, 9-4 is your draw, and 50-8 is your, of course, your Port Vale on this one. Back, of course, Salford City here at home, 2-0 win for them to really put up a cat amongst the pigeons in this playoff promotion race. Next up, of course, we go into the weekend's action. It's Carlisle United up against Exeter City, of course, top versus bottom-ish. Of course, now these two sides played 25 times in 2003, 6 wins for Carlisle, 12 wins for Exeter, and 7 draws. Of course, Carlisle, though, just one defeat in the past 4 for them, 58% form. Up against the Exeter side, of course, haven't lost in the last 7 games, 83% form, winning 4 of the last 5 as well. Last round, though, in, of course, Exeter in Carlisle was a 1-0 win for Carlisle back in, of course, January 2021. The reverse fixture in Exeter was a 2-1 win for Exeter back in November. Exeter picking up a 1-0 win over Newport County last time around. Of course, Carlisle picking up a draw against Tranmere on the road last time around as well. Coming at you, though, the odds 11-4 is your Carlisle, 11-10 on is your, of course, your Exeter, and 9-4 is your draw. Is this the season Exeter get themselves promoted to, of course, League One? We'll see about that. 1-0 win in the end for Exeter City for me on this one. Colchester United up against Stevenage, of course. Colchester United hitting a bit of form, of course. Stevenage hitting not form at the moment. Of course, played 18 times, 11-9 was Colchester, 5 was Stevenage, and 4 draws, of course. Colchester, though, winning 4 of the last 6, 67% form for them. Up against the Stevenage side, of course, haven't won the last at least 11 games. Goodness gracious me, losing 4 in the bounce. Of course, 8% form for them at the moment. Last time round, though, in Colchester was a 3-1 win for Colchester back in November 2020. The reverse fixture in Stevenage was back in, of course, November. 1-0 win for Stevenage. It was. Stevenage, though, did lose, of course, to Oldham last time round. A bit of a zinger that was. And, of course, Colchester pick up a 2-1 win over Harrogate Town. The odds here, 6-5 is your Colchester, 2-1 is your, of course, your Stevenage, and 9-4 is your draw. Back, of course, Colchester for me, wherever you are. There you are. 1-0 win for Colchester to take it to the house. Crawley Town up against Barrow, of course. These two sides are locked horns on, of course, the 9th of April. Played each other 9 times, 2008, 4 wins for Crawley, 3 wins for Barrow, and we've got 2 draws, of course. So it's just 1 defeat the past 3 for Crawley right now, 33% form. Up against the Barrow side, just 1 win and 6 for them, 33% form as well over the last 6. Last time around in Crawley was a 4-2 win for Crawley back in December 2020. The reverse fixture, of course, in Barrow was a 1-0 win for Crawley back in November. Crawley picking up a 2-1 loss against Salford. Barrow did lose to Port Vale as well. The odds for this one, what do we have on this one? Odds going in favour of Crawley, 5-4 for the victory, 2-1 is your Barrow, of course, and 9-4 is your bloody draw. 2-1 win for me, Crawley to take the W, and of course Barrow are in trouble. Forest Green Rovers again, double match week for them up against Hartlepool United this campaign, coming in weekend. Played each other just the one time in 2021. It was the reverse fixture, and we'll get to that shortly. Of course, 58% form for Forest Green right now. Hartlepool just 1 win and 6 for them, 33% form over the last 6 games as well. Forest Green Rovers did beat Hartlepool last round in the reverse fixture back in November. It was a 3-1 win back in the day. Of course, Forest Green are in action as well, but prior to all that, they did pick up back-to-back 1-0 wins over Scunthorpe and Colchester. Hartlepool, though, did lose to Salford and haven't won since they beat Newport County back in 18th of March. The odds, though, for this one, Forest Green is 7-4 on for the victory, 30-5 is your draw, and 92 is your away win. That's Hartlepool. Back-to-back wins for, back-to-back home games for Forest Green, and it'll be back-to-back wins in my eyes this week. 3-1 win for them over Hartlepool to take it to the house. Next, of course, we have Northampton Town up against Bradford City, of course, under Mark Hughes. Of course, I don't think it's going to work out for him this campaign, Sparky, but maybe just next season it'll be the chance for them to turn it around. Played to the 19 times 2006, 3 was Northampton, 11 was Bradford, and 5 draws, of course. Northampton Town winning 1-3, lost 3 of the last 6, 50% form up against the Bradford side, just without a win 3 now, 42% form for them at the moment. Last time around, though, in Northampton Town was a 1-0 win for Bradford. That was back in September 2017. The reverse fixture at Parade was a 1-1 draw back in November. Bradford did lose to Bristol Rovers last time around. Northampton also lost to Mansfield as well. The odds, though, for this one, what we're looking at here, Northampton Town 11-10 on for the victory, or 11-10 for the victory, 12-5 is your draw. Sorry, 12-5 is your away win, 21-10 is your draw. Wow, I'll get it sorted out, brother. I'm going to go with Northampton Town here, even though I'm a big fan of Bradford City in a way. I like to see them succeed, but I'm also a big fan of Hughesy. So, but I think they'll lose this one, 2-1 win in the end for Northampton Town. Of course, double match week for Port Vale, and of course, another Northwest crunch clash for them. Of course, played each other 32 times. That is Oldham, of course. This is 994. 11 was for Port Vale, 10 was for Oldham, and 11 draws, of course. Port Vale, of course, unbeaten in the goodness gracious me at the last 6 games. Of course, 90% form for them. Of course, they will lose this week, though, of course, against Salford, but up against Oldham, of course, back-to-back wins for them. 33% form for them heading into this one. Last time I played at Vale Park, it was a 0-0 draw back in March 2021. The reverse fixture in Oldham was a 3-2 win for Oldham back in November. Oldham did, of course, pick up back-to-back wins for them, back-to-back clean sheets as well. And, of course, Port Vale did beat Barrow last round, but, of course, will lose to Salford in my eyes. Looking at the odds on this one, 50-8 on as your Port Vale, 11-4 is your draw, 5-1 is your long shots. That's, of course, Oldham. But, of course, they're under their form right now, but I think they'll still lose this. 1-0 win for Port Vale to keep their heat at the top end of the table. Next, of course, I have Rochdale. That's right, against Walsall. Let's get the deep end, of course, over at Spotlands. Now, these two sides have played each other 19 times, 2006. 8 wins for Rochdale. We got 5 wins for Walsall and 6 draws as well. Just 1 win in the last 6 for Rochdale right now, 33% form. Against the Walsall side of 1-2, lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6, 50% form, but they haven't won in the last 3. Of course, last round in Rochdale was a 2-1 win for Walsall back in August 2018. The reverse fixture at the Bescott was a 0-0 draw back in November. Of course, Walsall picked up a 2-0 loss against Leyton Orient. Of course, Rochdale did not win against Swindon, but it's actually been back-to-back clean sheets for Rochdale heading into this game. Rochdale, of course, 65 for the victory, 210 is your draw, and 11-5 is your away win. That's Walsall. Back, of course, Rochdale to get another draw here, 0-0 in the end, another clean sheet to boot as well. Salford City, of course, big week for them up against Harrogate Town. Can they, of course, make it back-to-back wins this week? Of course, played 11 times, 2016, 6 wins for Salford, 1 for Harrogate, and 4 draws. Of course, 4 wins on the bounce for Salford prior to this week. Of course, they'll win against Port Vale, of course, earlier in the week, and they'll probably win this one as well. Up against Harrogate Town, of course, just 1 win and 6 for them, 25% form for them at the moment. Of course, last round in Salford, it was a 2-2 draw back in January 2021. That was last season. The reverse fixture in Harrogate was a 2-0 for Salford back in November this campaign. Harrogate did lose to Colchester 2-1 last round. Of course, Salford with a big win over Hartlepool last round as well. Can they make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wins on the spin? We'll take a look at it. Of course, the odds 5-4 on is your Salford, 12-5 is your draw, and 3-1 is your long shots. Of course, back-to-back home matches for Salford, and it'll be back-to-back wins in my eyes. Good week for them, according to me. Scunthorpe United up against Mansfield, of course. Mansfield, of course, taking on the Vegans earlier in the week, but of course, can they bounce back with a win against Scunthorpe? Now, these two sides played 12 times, 2003, 2 wins for Scunthorpe, 8 wins for Mansfield, and 2 draws. Of course, Scunthorpe, though, are losing 5 on the bounce, and haven't won the last 10 up against the Mansfield Town side. Of course, unbeaten the last 4 prior to this week's action, of course. Last time around at Scunthorpe was a 3-2 win for Mansfield back in December 2020. The reverse fixture this campaign was a 3-1 win in Mansfield back in November. Of course, Mansfield picked up a 1-0 win over Northampton Town. Of course, the Vegans did beat Scunthorpe last time around, and Scunthorpe haven't scored in back-to-back games. The odds, though, for this one, we have 4-1 is your Scunthorpe, a 13-8 on is your Mansfield, and 14-5 is your bounce back ability is required for Mansfield. I think they'll do it with the 2-0 win over Scunthorpe in the end. Next, of course, we have catch-up boys. It's Sutton United up against Leyton Orient, of course, down at Sutton as well. Played the 5 times 2017, 2 wins to Sutton, 3 wins to Leyton Orient, and 0 draws. Just 1 win and 6 though for Sutton right now. They've been very, very busy. Of course, 25% form for them. Up against the Leyton Orient side, of course, 1 defeated past 6 for them, 75% form for Welland's boys. Of course, last time at Sutton was a 2-1 win for Leyton Orient back in April 2019. The reverse fixture at Brisbane Road back in November was a 4-1 win for Leyton Orient as well. Leyton Orient picked up a 2-0 win over Walsall, and of course, Sutton United did lose to Rotherham in the final of the FA Trophy as it went to overtime, extra time, whatever you want to call it. 4-2 it was in the end. The odds though for this one, we have Sutton United 11-10 for the victory, 9-4 is your away win, and 11-5 is your draw. Back, of course, Sutton United here to take the win, get the first win in a long, long time, and of course, maybe keep their dreams of playoffs on track. Into the final 2 now. We have Swindon Town up against Newport County, another playoff encounter, you would imagine. Played each other 11 times, 2014, 6 for Swindon, 4 for Newport County, and 1 draw. Just 1 win. 1 defeat past 1 defeat past 4, sorry, for Swindon. 58% form for them at the moment, 58% form also for Newport County. However, I haven't won the last 3 games, goodness gracious me. Last time I played each other over at Swindon in the league, it was a 2-0 win for Newport County back in August 2019. The reverse fixture was, of course, back in Wales, of course, in November 2021 was a 2-1 win for Swindon as well. They also played each other in the FA Trophy this campaign back in November, also in Swindon. That was a 1-0 win for Swindon as well. So Swindon are looking for 3 wins on the spin against Newport County. Can they do it over in Swindon? Of course, Swindon picked up a 0-0 draw against Rochdale last round. Of course, Newport County picked up a 1-0 loss against Exeter and haven't scored in back-to-back games. Looking at the odds though for this one, Swindon actually 5-4 for the victory, 25 is your draw, 15-8 is your Newport County on this one. Could go either way. Going to go with a 2-1 win though for Swindon to take it to the house. And of course, wrap it up. It'll be Tranmere Rovers up against Bristol Rovers. It's the battle of the Rovers. Now these two sides, of course, played 12 times, 2008, 4 wins apiece and 4 draws as well. Tranmere though, just 1 defeat past 5 for them, 50% form, 1-2 lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6. Up against the Bristol Rovers side, just 1 defeat past 6 for them, 83% form for them for Barton's boys. That's right. Last time out at Prenton Park, it was a 0-0 draw back in February 2020. The reverse fixture at Bristol was a 2-2 draw back in November. Of course, Bristol Rovers picked up a 2-1 win over Bradford. Of course, Tranmere did draw with Carlisle 2-2 last round. The odds here 11-8 is your Tranmere, 7-4 is your away win, 11-5 is your draw. What do you think? What do you think about that one? I'm going to go with, of course, a draw here, 2-2 in the end. Point split rather than. I think Bristol Rovers will be happier for that one. over Tranmere. That's, of course, my take on it. Be sure to get your own take on it as well using the link, /League 2. Be sure to also stick your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about who actually will get promoted from League 2. That's, of course, it, boys. Be sure to smash your thumbs up, smash your subscribe, check links down below on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and Patreon. But until then, boys, we're done right now.